The world I once knew is gone. Imagine waking up one morning to find the sky on fire. The great cities of man, once monuments to our power, are now just skeletal remains, twisted steel groaning in the wind. The oceans, once teeming with life, now churn with a sickly, unseen poison. This is the aftermath of the Great War, a day when humanity unleashed the power of the atom upon itself. Survival here is a daily battle, clean water is a treasure, and a simple meal can be a matter of life and death. You have to be smart, resourceful, and always aware of your surroundings. Danger lurks not just in the mutated beasts that roam the land, but in the very air you breathe. In this brutal, unforgiving landscape, hope is a rare commodity. Many have fallen into despair, seeing only an end to everything they held dear. They cling to the ghosts of the past, mourning a world that will never return. But for some, this apocalypse was not an end, it was a beginning. A cleansing fire that swept away the sins of the old world and paved the way for something new, something pure. From the irradiated craters and glowing ruins, a strange new faith has emerged, spreading like wildfire across the wastelands. They call themselves the Children of Atom, and they see divinity where others see only destruction. They embrace the poison that has tainted the earth, for they believe it is the very breath of their God. The Children of Atom are a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. When faced with the ultimate catastrophe, they did not crumble. Instead, they forged a new purpose, a new way of seeing the world. They looked at the glowing green puddles of radiation, the source of so much death and sickness, and saw not a curse, but a blessing. They believed the atomic bombs were not weapons of war, but instruments of a divine plan. For them, the mushroom clouds were not symbols of our downfall, but the glorious heralds of a new dawn. It's a mindset that is hard to grasp for an outsider, but in a world where everything has been lost, a powerful belief can be the ultimate survival tool. This is their story. It is a story of how a group of survivors, huddled together in the most irradiated, dangerous places on Earth, found a new God in the heart of the atom. It is a tale of faith born from fire, a belief system that turns the very concept of life and death on its head. Understanding them is crucial to understanding this new world. Are they madmen, driven insane by the radiation they worship? Or are they prophets, the first enlightened souls of a new age? To survive out here, you need to know who your neighbors are. Let's journey into the heart of their belief, into the radioactive glow they call home, and try to understand what drives the Children of Atom. No one knows for certain how the Children of Atom began. Like any great faith, its origins are shrouded in mystery and told through scattered stories. The most common tale speaks of a single survivor, a man trapped inside a nuclear submarine when the bombs fell. Surrounded by the raw, untamed power of an atomic reactor, he didn't perish. Instead, he had a vision. He saw the destructive force not as an accident, but as a deliberate act of a powerful, unseen deity. He saw the Great War as a moment of creation, a divine event that would reshape humanity. This lone prophet emerged from the depths, his body and mind forever changed, ready to spread the word of his newfound god Atom. This message found fertile ground in the hearts of the desperate. Survivors, lost and without purpose, gathered in the craters left by the bombs. These places, lethal to most, became their first sanctuaries. They were drawn to the residual radiation, the glow as they called it, believing it to be a physical manifestation of Atom's presence. In these irradiated zones, they found a strange sort of peace. The sickness that afflicted them, the radiation poisoning, was reinterpreted as a trial, a test of faith. Those who endured it and survived were seen as the chosen ones, blessed by Atom and brought closer to his divine essence. The very places others fled became their holy lands. Early beliefs were simple, passed down by word of mouth. Atom was the creator and destroyer of worlds. The old world was corrupt, filled with sin and greed, and Atom, in his infinite wisdom, had washed it away in a baptism of nuclear fire. This event, the Great War, was not a tragedy, but a great division, separating the worthy from the unworthy. Those who survived were given a chance to build a new world, one in harmony with Atom's will. These core ideas provided comfort and a sense of order in a world defined by chaos. It gave meaning to their suffering and transformed their grim reality into a sacred journey. From these small, isolated groups, the faith began to spread. Missionaries, their bodies sometimes visibly changed by the glow, traveled the wastelands, preaching the gospel of Atom. They found new converts among the outcasts, the mutated, and those who had lost everything. They offered a community, a purpose, and a promise of ultimate union with their God. The faith grew organically, adapting to each new community it touched, but its central tenets remained the same. Atom is divine, radiation is his gift, and the apocalypse was a necessary, beautiful act of creation. The whispers in the craters had grown into a chorus that echoed across the ruined continent. The beliefs of the children of Atom can be understood through three simple yet powerful ideas. The first, and most important, is the glow. To them, radiation is not a poison. It is Atom's holy light, his very essence made visible on Earth. They believe the glow is a gift, a medium through which Atom communicates with his followers and bestows his blessings. Where others see sickness and death, the children see a sacred energy that purifies the world and the soul. They actively seek it out, building their homes and temples in the most irradiated locations. They believe that by bathing in the glow, they are cleansing themselves of the old world's impurities and drawing closer to their God. The second pillar of their faith is mutation. In the Wasteland, radiation changes things. It warps the bodies of animals and humans, creating strange and often terrifying new forms. Most survivors view these mutations with fear and disgust. But the children of Atom see them as a sign of Atom's divine touch. They believe that when the glow alters a living being, it is Atom reshaping it into a more perfect form, one better suited for his new world. They welcome these changes, even when they are painful or disfiguring. A new limb, glowing skin, or any other physical anomaly is not a curse, but a mark of favor, a visible sign that Atom has chosen you for a special purpose. The final core belief is the Great Division. The children do not see the end of the old world as a disaster. They call it the Great Division, a holy event where Atom split a single, imperfect world into countless new ones. Each atomic explosion, in their view, created a new universe, a new possibility. This is a hopeful and profound idea for them. It means that death is not an end. When a person dies, especially through exposure to radiation, they believe that person's soul is divided, sent to join Atom in one of these infinite new worlds, a paradise beyond comprehension. This belief removes all fear of death and turns it into a joyous occasion, the ultimate act of worship. Together, these three ideas, glow, mutation, and division, form the foundation of their worldview. The glow is Atom's presence, mutation is his work, and division is his promise of eternal life. This simple yet powerful trinity gives them strength and purpose in a world that would break most people. It allows them to find beauty in desolation, hope in mutation, and salvation in death. It is a complete reordering of reality, a survival strategy for the soul in a world where the old rules no longer apply. Understanding these pillars is the key to understanding the unwavering conviction you see in the eyes of every child of Atom. For the children of Atom, faith is not just an idea, it is a physical experience. They build shrines and temples to honor their God, and these are always located in places humming with the glow. Their most sacred sites are the epicenters of nuclear blasts, locations they call holy ground. The most famous of these is the crater in the ruins of a city they call the Holy Land of Megaton. There, an unexploded atomic bomb sits at the heart of their settlement, a revered altar that they worship day and night. They live their entire lives around this dormant weapon, believing its constant, low-level radiation leak is a direct blessing from Atom, nurturing them and strengthening their connection to him. Their holy places are filled with sacred relics, objects they believe hold a fragment of Atom's power. These are not fancy jewels or golden idols. Their relics are the humble, discarded remnants of the atomic age. An old, rusted fission battery, a glowing piece of nuclear waste, or even the cracked casing of a small bomb can be treated with the utmost reverence. They believe these objects are infused with the glow and can act as conduits to Atom. Priests will often carry these relics, using them in sermons and healing rituals. Touching one is believed to confer a small measure of Atom's blessing, though for an unbeliever, it would likely just confer a dose of radiation poisoning. Worship for the children is a constant, quiet affair. It involves long periods of prayer and meditation, often performed while sitting as close as possible to a source of radiation. They will gather around a glowing barrel of waste, or a radioactive puddle, as if it were a campfire, sharing stories of Atom's greatness and listening to the sermons of their priests. They believe that the soft hum of radiation is Atom's voice, and by quieting their minds, they can hear his guidance. These gatherings are peaceful and communal, reinforcing the bonds between them and strengthening their collective faith in the face of a hostile world. It's a powerful sight to behold, a community finding serenity in a place others would consider a death trap. Beyond quiet meditation, their rituals can also be more active. They perform baptisms, but not with water. Instead, a new convert might be asked to drink from a slightly irradiated spring or be anointed with radioactive sludge. These acts are meant to symbolize the washing away of their past life and their rebirth into Atom's family. They also make pilgrimages to particularly radioactive sites across the Wasteland, journeys that are perilous and often fatal. But for the children, to fall on such a journey is the highest honor, as it means their division has come and they have been called home to Atom. These rituals, while shocking to outsiders, are deeply meaningful acts of devotion for the faithful. The most profound and sacred ritual in the children of Atom's faith is the division. This is not a ceremony that everyone undertakes, but it is, honestly, the ultimate goal for the most devout. The division is the act of willingly and completely giving oneself to Atom by embracing a lethal dose of radiation. To an outsider, this is, well, suicide. But to a believer, it is the final, glorious step in their spiritual journey. It is the moment they shed their physical form and allow their soul to be split, sent across the infinite universes that Atom created during the Great War. It's their version of ascending to heaven, a moment of supreme joy and transcendence. This ritual is not performed lightly. It is reserved for the most faithful, often the elderly or those who feel they have served their purpose in the physical world. The ceremony is led by a high-ranking priest in one of their most sacred, highly irradiated locations. The chosen individual, known as the Dividing One, prepares for days with prayer and fasting. On the day of the ritual, the community gathers to witness the event. There is no sadness or mourning. Instead, the atmosphere is one of celebration and reverence. They chant hymns to Atom, praising his power and generosity and celebrating the soul that is about to be reunited with him. The act itself is simple and solemn. The Dividing One will approach the source of intense radiation, be it an exposed reactor core, a pool of raw nuclear waste, or the heart of a crater. They may drink from it, immerse themselves in it, or simply lie down before it, absorbing its deadly energies. The priest guides them with final prayers, speaking of the paradise that awaits them in Atom's realm. The believer feels no fear, only a profound sense of peace and anticipation. They believe the searing pain of radiation sickness is the final purification, the fire that burns away their last mortal tethers before their spirit is released. For the community left behind, the division is a powerful affirmation of their faith. It is living proof of their belief that death is not an end. They watch one of their own journey to Atom, and it strengthens their resolve to live their lives in accordance with his will. They believe the energy released by the Dividing One's spirit enriches the glow of the sacred site, making it even holier. The spot where a division took place becomes a hallowed ground, a place of special power. This ritual, more than any other, encapsulates their entire belief system. A complete rejection of the fear of death and a total embrace of the radioactive heart of their god. Section 6. The Hierarchy of the Glow. The children of Atom are not a chaotic mob. They have a well-defined social structure, a hierarchy based on one's perceived closeness to Atom. At the very bottom are the newcomers and the uninitiated. These are survivors who have been drawn to the faith but have not yet proven their devotion. They are taught the basics of the faith and perform the menial tasks within the community, like scavenging for supplies or tending to the less irradiated areas of their settlements. They are watched closely by the senior members, who look for signs of true belief and the willingness to embrace the glow. It is a probationary period where their commitment is constantly being tested. Above the newcomers are the children themselves, the main body of the faithful. These are individuals who have been fully accepted into the church. They have undergone their baptism and live their lives according to Atom's teachings. They participate in all the rituals, listen to the sermons, and contribute to the community's survival. Within this group, a person's standing is often informally judged by their tolerance to radiation. Those who can endure more of the glow without falling ill are seen as more blessed by Atom. They are respected for their resilience, which is viewed as a physical manifestation of their spiritual strength. Leading the flock are the priests and high priests. These are the spiritual guides and leaders of the community. A priest is not chosen through politics or inheritance, but through their deep connection to Atom. They are individuals who have spent years, sometimes decades, living in highly irradiated environments. They are the ones who can interpret Atom's will, often through visions they claim to receive during long periods of meditation in the glow. High priests are those whose connection is strongest, and they often bear physical mutations, which they proudly display as marks of Atom. They lead the most important rituals, including the sacred division, and their word is considered law. At the very pinnacle of the hierarchy is the confessor or mother-father. This is the supreme leader of a major sect or chapter of the faith. There is often only one such figure for a very large region. This individual is seen as a living prophet, someone who speaks directly for Atom. They are revered almost as demigods, their bodies thoroughly warped by a lifetime of extreme radiation exposure. Their counsel is sought on all matters, and their judgment is final. To become a confessor is to have become so infused with the glow that you are barely considered human anymore, but rather a vessel for Atom's divine will on Earth. Section 7. A world without fear. One of the most striking things about the children of Atom is their complete lack of fear in a world defined by it. Most Wasteland survivors are jumpy, paranoid, and constantly on guard. They fear the mutated creatures, the gangs of raiders, and the invisible threat of radiation. But the children of Atom walk through this world with a serene calmness that is both unnerving and fascinating. This tranquility comes directly from their faith. When you believe that the very thing everyone else fears is the loving embrace of your God, the world becomes a much less frightening place. Radiation is not a threat, it is a blessing. This fearlessness extends to their view of the mutated monsters that roam the wastes. While others see abominations like ghouls or giant, irradiated insects as things to be destroyed, the children often see them as sacred creations of Atom. They believe these creatures are an expression of Atom's boundless creativity, life forms perfectly adapted to his new world. They will often refuse to harm these creatures unless absolutely necessary for self-defense. In some communities, they even try to coexist with them, leaving offerings and treating them as sacred animals. This perspective turns a landscape of horrors into a divine garden, filled with Atom's wondrous, if deadly, creations. Their acceptance of death is perhaps the most profound aspect of their fearlessness. For most, death in the Wasteland is a grim, undignified end. But for a child of Atom, death is the ultimate goal, the joyous moment of division. They do not fear sickness, injury, or the passage of time. Every hardship is a test, and the end of that test is a glorious reunion with their Creator. This belief allows them to face mortal danger with a smile. It is why they can live in places that would kill anyone else in weeks, and why they volunteer for pilgrimages from which they may never return. Death has lost its sting, replaced by the promise of eternal paradise. This worldview makes them incredibly resilient. When a community of normal survivors suffers a major loss, a failed crop, a raider attack, or a sickness, it can break their spirit. For the children of Atom, such events are merely part of Atom's plan. A failed crop means Atom is testing their resolve. An attack is a chance to prove their faith in the face of adversity. The death of their kin is a cause for celebration, as more souls have joined Atom. This unshakable optimism, born from a radical reinterpretation of reality, is their greatest survival tool. It is a mental armor that protects them from the despair that claims so many others in the Wasteland. Section 8. The beauty in the breakdown. Where a normal person sees the apocalypse as the ugly end of civilization, the children of Atom see a world purified and made beautiful. They find aesthetic pleasure in things that would horrify others. The twisted skeletal remains of a skyscraper are not a sad reminder of what was lost, but a magnificent monument to Atom's power. The eerie green glow of a radioactive crater at night is not a warning sign, but a beautiful lamp lit by their god. They have developed a unique aesthetic that celebrates decay, ruin, and the raw, untamed power of the atom. It is a worldview that finds serenity in the chaos. This appreciation for destruction is woven into their culture. Their hymns are not about peace and tranquility in the old world sense. They are about the thunderous roar of the bombs, the glorious light of the explosions, and the cleansing fire that swept the world clean. Their art, often painted on walls of scrap metal or ruined buildings, depicts mushroom clouds not as symbols of terror, but as holy trees of life, their trunks reaching to the heavens. They see the Great War not as a failure of humanity, but as its greatest artistic achievement, a collaborative masterpiece conducted by Atom himself to create a new and more interesting world. This perspective allows them to thrive in environments that others would abandon. They don't try to rebuild the old world. They have no interest in restoring the clean, orderly cities of the past, which they see as symbols of corruption and sin. Instead, they build their settlements organically from the wreckage. Their homes are crafted from rusted car parts, broken concrete, and scavenged sheet metal. They don't see this as squalor. They see it as living in harmony with the world Atom has given them. Their settlements are not scars on the landscape, but growths that emerge from it. embracing the ruin rather than fighting it. Ultimately, the children of Atom teach that beauty is a matter of perspective. They have chosen to see the wasteland not as a graveyard, but as a nursery for a new kind of existence. They look at a world shattered into a million pieces and see a million new possibilities, a million new universes waiting to be born from the division of souls. This ability to find beauty in the breakdown is what separates them from other survivors. While others mourn the past, the children of Atom are busy building a future in the radiant glow of the present, finding peace and purpose in the heart of the world's end. Section 9. Visionaries or madmen? So, who are the children of Atom? After journeying through their beliefs, their rituals, and their way of life, the question remains: are they enlightened visionaries who have unlocked a profound spiritual truth about the nature of the new world? Or are they simply madmen, their minds poisoned by the same radiation they worship, clinging to a dangerous delusion to cope with unbearable trauma? The answer, like the glow they revere, is not so clear. It is easy to dismiss them as insane. Their willing embrace of lethal radiation and their joyous celebration of death run contrary to every instinct for survival. From one perspective, they are a cautionary tale. Their faith leads them to forsake basic safety, to welcome sickness, and to ultimately seek self-destruction. Their leaders, often bearing severe mutations and likely suffering from radiation-induced cancers and cognitive decline, guide their followers down a path that inevitably leads to an early grave. They are a death cult, a group of people who have been so broken by the apocalypse that they have romanticized their own demise. In this light, their beliefs are nothing more than a complex justification for giving up, a way to make suicide seem like a holy act. It is a tragic response to a tragic world. Yet, from another angle, one can't help but feel a certain respect for their unwavering conviction. In a world filled with chaos, they have found order. In a world of despair, they have found hope. Their faith, however strange, provides them with a community, a purpose, and a complete absence of fear. They face the horrors of the wasteland with a serenity that no other faction can match. Is it possible that they have tapped into something real? That in a world governed by the atom, worshipping it is the most logical path? They are arguably more adapted to the reality of the post-nuclear age than those who still cling to the ghosts of the past. Ultimately, the children of Atom represent the enduring mystery of faith. They prove that the human need for meaning is so powerful that it can bloom in the most toxic soil imaginable. They took the very instrument of their world's destruction and transformed it into a symbol of salvation. Visionaries or madmen? Perhaps they are a little of both. They are a testament to the incredible, and sometimes terrifying, ways humanity can adapt its beliefs to survive. In the endless, desolate night of the wasteland, they have chosen to follow a strange, green, glowing star, and for better or for worse, it guides them home.